Hey, welcome to Brand Builders TV. Sally here, and I am known as the Bliss Alchemist. So hopefully we are going to learn something about creating your bliss. But how can that happen when the rug is pulled out from under you? So today I want you to consider a time when something totally blindsided you, took you off guard. How did you respond? And today we're going to learn some tips and techniques. And you'll hear how it has worked for me and others that will change how you react in a situation that could be devastating, and how you can shift it so that it actually works out for your best. Hard to imagine. So I'm going to share with you how to connect with that gift that you were meant to bring to the world. I'll share with you how a friend used the knowledge of her purpose to save her life. And then you can obtain 2 resources that will help guide you to clarity when the waters get muddy and when you need some direction because it's not clear to you. So one day I came out of my office into the reception area where I met an inspector from the health department. And she asked me straight out, do you touch people? I cannot tell a lie. So yes, when I'm with my clients, I touch them. Well, you would have thought I told her that I was Typhoid Mary because she got all up in arms and she said that's illegal and I'll be, inspecting you. This is the date and all this. Well, how would you have responded in a situation like that? On the outside, it was calm and cool. On the inside, I was totally freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. What am I going to do? I have all these plans, and somebody's going to come and close me down. So I went back to my office and I took a breath. And because of how I've prepared myself up until this day, how the tools I've learned how to cope and all, I actually listened. My mind, instead of going into that naysayers and that chatting and that, oh, it's horrible, the world is coming to an end, I could actually look at the situation and go, look at the other positive side and go, okay, you have helped so many people up till now. There's no way that you can be closed down this easily. There's no way. This is not the end. And so I could come up with an action plan of what to do, because I do not have the license of a massage therapist. And that's what they were checking on. In Alexandria, where I live and practice, they've got a really tight law to govern massage therapists. So I sat down and my plan was to find out exactly what the problem was. So she had given me her card that also had the director's name on it and phone number. So I went to the top And I said, after playing a little bit of phone tag, I got in touch with this busy man who was very kind. And I was going to ask him, what can I do? This is, how can I fix this? But what came to mind for me, because I was centered and ready to have a good conversation with him, was, you are a busy man. And I am sure there are more important things that are on your plate. Yet I have a question as to why you're concerned about me touching people. I said, is it because you believe that I'm a brothel? Or is it because you believe that I may be unsanitary? And he said, it's the first one. I said, well, if you've ever met me, you know full well I'm not running a brothel. And I said, so what are the things? I said, what is the most important thing for you? What would you much rather be spending your time on? And he said that it was food poisoning, food contamination. I said, oh my gosh, yes. What a health risk, right? And so we could have a nice conversation. He said, I'm going to have to get back to you and check on what the rules and regs are. And I will be back with you. Thank you. and so we left amicably. And I was still a little concerned. So I checked in with a lawyer and I said, so what are the rules? How does this work? And so that I would have some fuel to go to converse with him. So the next time we did have our conversation, he said, Sally, I sent your website to the Assistant Attorney General's office. She will be calling you. Okay. How is this going to work out for me? How is this going to work out for me? And so when I got the Attorney General's office called me and she said, I looked at your website. She said, we got to leave you alone. There is no problem here. And I got a letter from her and a letter from the health department giving me permission to practice. And, it could have been crazy. I could have gone down a big tunnel of despair. And it still would have ended up the same way. It still would have ended up, well, maybe not, right? Maybe if I would have gone in the conversation on the defensive with the health department, perhaps I could have agitated him enough to say, F it. I'm slapping you with everything I can because you're so nasty or you're so aggressive or whatever. But instead I went in with, okay, I'm supposed to be here. How can we make this work? And I thought of him first. And everything worked out. I've got it in writing. So what in the world has come up for you around a situation that on hindsight, you could look back on and shift the whole thing? And you'll be able to plan ahead. So what I'd like you to do is be clear first on what's your purpose here. What are you supposed to be bringing to the world? If you go to Monday's call with me on, last week's call, Thursday's call, about at 11 o'clock, check it out. It's got a step-by-step on how to reconnect with your inner guidance. But this is just kind of like an overview, and I want you to reminisce on what you enjoyed when you were a child. And that could have been reading. That could have been playing. That could have been connecting with others. Maybe you liked being a teacher. And a teacher doesn't have to be a teacher in a classroom. But think about the things that gave you joy and reconnect with those things. Riding a bike, activities, using your hands. What did you like to do? What made your heart sing? Was it singing? And that's some guidance onto what energy you're to bring to the planet. That gives you something to think about when you are creating anything. Connect with that feeling, and it will become infused with your love of fun or whatever it was that you enjoyed. And you'll begin to connect with people who have that same kind of vibration around them. Another way to connect with why you're here is to take a couple nice deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Imagine you're breathing into your heart. Feel your feet. Allow your mind to be supported by your heart. And I want to ask you a riddle. And breathe and listen to my words. I want you to notice the very first word that comes to mind. The very first word. The very first feeling. The very first concept. The first hit, whatever it is. And here's the riddle. What did you look like before your parents were born? First hit. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it. Don't go, oh, I wish it was. And you may get a story. You may get a feeling. You may get a word. And what I would love for you to do right now is take a moment for that feeling, that emotion, that word, that story to settle into every single cell you have. And what was your word? What was your feeling? I learned that I was here to be happy. And when I got that information, I began to look for ways I could feel happy. And I did discover that happy is in me, and I can share that with others. When I am in that feeling and creating with happy, everything that I do lifts people. And that has been my journey. So I'm curious what word or feeling or concept came up for you. It might have been a beautiful light. It may have been just a vibration deep inside you. And when you have that feeling and that purpose, whether it be from this riddle, the answer to this riddle, or from what you liked to do as a child, what brought you joy or you enjoyed, I should say, as a child, that can be your talisman. That can be your guiding light. That can be how to choose what you do. My friend Angela was up in New York, and she was before COVID, and she was staying in a hotel not far from Times Square. And she had wanted to go out. She felt it would be great to go out, but the woman she went with didn't want to go out for the evening. And so Angela said, well, I'll go by myself. And her friend said, be really careful. She said, no, I know we're only, we're not far from Times Square. I'll walk right there and I'll come back. It'll be fine. So Angela did not do what she said. She went out, walked a little bit and heard some jazz music. Well, she loves jazz. And she followed it. She followed the music. She said, oh, it sounds like a party. So she headed that direction. And she took a couple turns, and the music was still there, and she was going there. And she came and walked in to what became a dead end. And the music stopped. She was a little confused, so she turned around to go back from where she came, and 3 men were walking towards her. And what had been a fun outing suddenly became not so much. And these 3 men were telling her exactly what they were going to do to her and how they were going to enjoy it. And just these creatures were coming towards her. And she was scared. She was scared. And then she remembered what she teaches, what she does, what she practices is love. And when she did that, she felt so calm. She started walking towards them. She did not know what she was going to do, but she was calm. And she was walking. Her eyes were closed. She felt a hand touch hers. And she was prepared for whatever was going to come up. The hand took her hand and said, the person attached to the hand said, come with me. And he walked her out of the alley. He said, don't turn around. Don't say a thing. Keep walking with me. He found out where she was staying, and they walked back. He said, they are going to kill me for doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I'm a dead man. But you are different. There's something about you, lady. He dropped her off and left. She said she knew it was a true experience because she'd peed in her pants. Crazy, right? When we are here living our true purpose, remembering why we are here, we can do anything. It does not invite us to be foolhardy. It does not invite us to not plan or take action, but it does let us know that we are safe and we are taken care of, and the universe is there to support us. So, I admonish you, discover who you are. Discover why you are here. Because you are here. Because you're special and you have a purpose. It can be for one person, you may be the world. And to the world, you may be just one person. We can affect people in all different ways. And to that world, the whole world, you could be the world. It all depends on why you're here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Today, you learned what I did when I was threatened with a life-changing event, how I responded, and it worked because I was present. I was focused on helping others. I was focused on why I'm here. You learned about Angela and how what could have been a horrible event for her turned out to be an affirming one. And you learned 2 ways to connect with your gift. And now I'm going to share with you those 2 resources that I mentioned that can help you guide you to clarity. One will help you start your day with success, and you can do that by visiting yourblissfuljourney.com/clarity. And I will post this in my link at the end. I'm not sure if I can get this up now. And then the other is yourblissfuljourney.com/pendulums. Let's see. Yeah. So I will post this at the end. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to chat with you now. If you have a question or a comment, if a story that you'd like to share about how knowing what you wanted, we don't even have to get into purpose, knowing what you want and having a clear goal towards it can change everything. In quantum mechanics, the quanta is energy, the smallest form of energy. And it is full of potential. So many possibilities. And it moves. And when it intercepts an intention or an observation, it becomes that observation, that intention. And all the other ones fall away. And that is the power that you have. Don't forget it. Thank you for joining me. It's been my pleasure. And hang out on BBTV. Great place to learn all sorts of interesting concepts, innovative thought, and forward-thinking people. I want to thank Antoinette and Sarah for popping on and holding my space for me. Bye for now.